Ladies and gentlemen, I'm yours truly, the legend himself, Labzy, aka the best motherfucker you ever met in the history of your life, and I can prove it to you even though I shouldn't. The most loyal, the most honest, and the most respected. Now, first guest of August. This man I've seen perform multiple times in the hip hop community here in Melbourne, and man, he just kills it, especially with the one of the recent singles that he did recently, called "Fuck 'Em All," and it was basically a rock rap. Just wanted to try something different, and so wanted to be on the show. He performs alongside people like Jay Alexa, and obviously many, 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 many more to list. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Where is Leroy? What's up, bro?
What's up? What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. First of all, how are you doing? How was your mental health?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I bust out of my pants this morning, so now I got this big ass hole in the back of my pants, and bloody,
How? What the hell?
I don't know. My gigantic ass just bust out of him first thing in the morning when I woke up. So yeah, that's what I've been dealing with today.
Jesus, man. But thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, bro. Now you gotta take it back for me, bro. How did the inspiration for you to do music to come about?
Man, I was traveling overseas and I just had so much free time. I just started writing everything down, to be honest with you. Like it just started with little stories and everything like that. Kind of worked its way into just kind of accidental rhyming.
Hmm.
I've always grown up with metal kids, with hardcore kids, so music's always been around me. Having access to a studio has never been too hard of a thing, and I was just kind of like, you know what? Let's give this a hot crack. We'll see how this goes. Moving forward from there, it was just something that just became such a part of my life. I couldn't not do it, you know? It's always, ever since then, it's always just been something where I'm like, man, I couldn't live without this.
Yeah. Well, what was that feeling when you just said that you can't live without it? What was so addicting about it?
Um, it's so much just like, it's so much of a skill when you put the pen to paper for so long and kind of come up with these ideas, work them through in your head, and then moving them over to the actual form in the studio and seeing that whole progress go across is just something that really just makes you feel like inside.
Mm. Yeah, that's right. Especially when like the feeling of doing music, and I've obviously because I come from musicians myself,
Hmm.
with family, and it's just I think what's so powerful about music is you are able to create like your own little world that you can just feel free to,
100%.
and then it's just like the world doesn't matter right now. Like all I want to do is just rap how I feel or sing how I feel, and because obviously this world is too crazy within itself, as we all know. But this is what the most powerful thing about music is, that it could be a powerful force of expression, emotion, and not just that, even inspiration as well. Like even when people can actually feel your music. So tell me about the song "Fuck 'Em All." Where did the idea come from, and how did you find the perfect beat to it?
Well, the perfect beat's definitely got to be attributed to my producer and homie Jay Alexa, who I believe we both met mutually through. Shout out to
Correct.
Jay Alexa. Working hard in the studio today. Um, Essentially, I guess I was feeling a bit underappreciated and a bit underwhelmed in almost every aspect of my life at that point in time. And I was lacking a lot of confidence and kind of like fuck 'em all is really uh essentially just like a fight back at every single person who kind of, I guess, hits you in the back, kicks you when you're down, when you feel like you're already down.
Mm,
You know, that's that kind of like, I guess, the things that wouldn't ever really say, to
mm.
people when they just kind of they get at you when you're not feeling it those days. There's so many different aspects in your life where you're kind of like, all right, I feel like I'm lacking here, or I'm lacking confidence, and there's a lot of people who I guess treat you unfairly in those cases. So fuck 'em all is really just like a gigantic, fuck you to
Mm.
every single person who treats you that way. It's an absolute bite back of a song.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And I've listened to the record and I really enjoyed it. I can really feel your lyrics, especially when you're just going hard at it with your writing style, and I felt it as well. Like, because I feel like a lot of people owe me their souls for what they did to me or what they put me through, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah, 100%.
and just as you said, like, there are people out there that are gonna kick you while you're already down. Like, it's just why? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm
Mm.
already I'm already down here. What do you like? What is this? And then living in a world that's kind of like that. It's like, well, it's either we take that shit or we just turn around and say, fuck you. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. And you can't stop me.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, there's far too many instances where it's like we should be helping each other up rather than kicking each other when we're down. There's very little reason to ever kick someone when we're down. So I don't really know why it seems so much like in this world nowadays, people are much more into kicking people when they're down or even just not helping people up.
Mm.
So you can't really, if you're going to poke the dog, you can't get angry that it bites back.
Yeah, well, that's also another thing. Like, what has always pissed me off, especially when it comes to people, is that when you are defending yourself, when you have a right to, and then all of a sudden you're the bad guy. Like, how are you the bad guy when you defend yourself and when you had enough? Like, that makes no fucking sense.
No,
And
100%.
but then it's like, oh well, it's like, oh, do you want me to take the hits and then that's it? Like, no, I'm gonna fucking stand up for myself. I want to create boundaries with these types of people, and then
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not born to be a punching bag, you're born to be your exact own person. I feel like people are so caught up in their own kind of life, they might forget that with other people. Like, a lot of people think that they're the main character. And, there's 7 billion people in this world. There doesn't need to be one main character.
Yeah, well, that's right. And I think, and this is where I've also noticed as well, especially not just in music and even in the workforce and shit like that. People just love to test you all the fucking time.
Oh, brother, absolutely.
Like, what the
Uh,
fuck is with that? Like, well, bro, I'm doing the same shit as you.
yeah.
If I was a rapper as well, if I was doing music like you guys are, like, and then people are coming at me with bullshit. I'm like, bro, I'm doing the same shit as you. I'm doing the same fucking thing as you. What the fuck is this? What are you doing?
But I had this, I was at work the other week and I was on, I only have a 15-minute break, so I'm already in a gigantic rush and I'm, working a 13-hour shift. So I'm running across the road to try and grab a coffee. And, I'm putting my 7-Eleven coffee in and it's kind of sitting there. And 7-Eleven coffees do that thing where they generally take a fucking hot minute.
Hmm.
And this dude comes up to me and he goes, "All right, mate, go on, move along." What do you mean?
What do you mean
Put
move
my
along?
coffee.
Move a long way.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh man, I got a train to catch, so you gotta, pull your coffee out. I'm gonna have to do mine." And I was like, "Fucking absolutely not!" Like, and he was like, "Well, no, I got a train to catch, so like, I got to put mine in there." I was like, "Nah, absolutely not happening today. Like, you should
Yeah, I
have done it
know.
5 seconds ago.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
Why are you doing this to me right now?"
yeah, not just that. It's like I'm not moving aside because of your poor organization.
Yeah, bloody, I'm not less important than you as well. Like, I got here
Yeah,
first. This is my coffee.
yeah, exactly. Like, freaking hell. And then, but even that shit just pisses me off. If it was me, I wouldn't just pretend I was deaf, and then just be
Yeah,
longer, and then I'd be like, oh mate, sorry, I didn't realize you were there. That would have
I've
been fucking
noticed
me.
that living in Melbourne now. I've lived in Melbourne for a hot minute. Like, it's
Yeah,
definitely there's a lot of times when you see something does happen in the street and everyone does kind of pretend they're deaf or blind. They kind of go,
yeah, exactly
"Yep,"
right.
which was not
So
something I'd seen back home.
Yeah. So hang on. So for the people that don't know, where did you grow up?
Me, I'm from the Gold Coast originally in Queensland. Um, I left there about 2016. I was living overseas in Asia for a while, just traveling through there.
Hmm.
And eventually, when I finally ran out of money, I decided to just come straight to Melbourne. I've been here ever since.
Okay. All right. Nice. What was it living in Asia like? What was that like?
Yeah, living in Asia was really fun. Was just a lot of traveling, a lot of moving around.
Mm.
But yeah, it was. I'd never been overseas before, so it was a whole new experience, especially experience such a different culture.
Mm.
I was caught in a like the biggest typhoon to hit Vietnam in 20 years, which was pretty cool. So I was had to get evacuated. That was pretty fun. Um, I got kidnapped in North Vietnam as well, so that was pretty cool. I mean, you
Wait,
wouldn't
wait,
think,
wait,
but
wait, wait, wait. Hang on, hang on. What do you mean? What do you mean kidnapped? What are you talking about? You meant.
all
Hang on.
right.
Yeah, this is something that's not. So you're just like, oh yeah, I just got kidnapped. This man said this just so casually. Like, what do you, bro? No, you
Um,
gotta, you gotta tell me about this.
all right, so one night I was out looking for a bit of weed, which is apparently quite illegal in Vietnam.
Mm,
And I ran into this one dude and he's like, "Oh, hey man, I can sell you some weed." And I was like, "Oh yeah, cool."
mm.
So I get some weed off him and I walk off. Out of the blue, this other dude just spins around the corner and he goes, "Hey man, that guy sold you some fake weed." I was like, "Oh, okay." Have a bit of a look at it, and yep, surely it's just tea leaves that's been wrapped up. So I was like, "Oh, fuck, that sucks." And he goes, "Get on the back of my bike, we'll go find him. We'll fuck him up." And I was like, "Yeah, right, I'm not doing anything today." So, jumped on the back of his bike. It's like 1 a.m. Jump on the back of his bike. We spin the block a couple times looking for this dude. Can't find him at all. And he goes, like, you seem like a nice guy. Like, you want to come smoke some weed and fucking drink some beers with me and my friend? And I was like, "Oh, yeah, right on." So we head over to this, like, this dude's got like a, pardon me, this dude's got like a tent on the side of the road,
Mm.
which I should have imagined was probably not a good sign to begin with. This dude's got a tent on the side of the road. And we sit there and we have a couple beers, we smoke a couple joints, and they go like, "Oh, you want to go play some karaoke? Do some karaoke together?" And I was like, "Yeah, right on. Why not? Me and a couple of the boys, drunk on a fucking Tuesday night at 2
The
a.m. Let's go
best
do some
time. The
karaoke."
best time to do
Absolutely
karaoke.
the best time. Yeah, just me and a couple of dudes I don't know at all. Um, so we jump on the back of his bike. The other dude jumps on his bike and we're driving. We driving for like an hour and a half. Like, fuck, it's the longest, probably longer even. Like, because fuck me, that went for way too long. I felt like my phone battery was on like 2% by the time we got there. So we're driving to this fucking random karaoke place, world's dodgiest looking place. So it's like
Mm,
this fucking, it looks kind of like one of those like speakeasy, like places where they illegally sell beer and shit like that.
mm.
And it's this real dodgy looking place, and there's all these, big black cars out the front, all with like tinted windows and everything like that. So we pull up there and we go inside. There's just this big dude at the door, and he seems to know them already. So he just, opens the door, lets us in. We get into this karaoke room, and like the music starts playing. We're actually having a pretty good time. They get all this beer ordered to the karaoke room, and it's just coming in like cartons and stuff of beer. There's obviously no RSA kind of shit at all. Gets like all these fruit platters delivered, and we're kind of like living the high life. I'm just smoking joints in this karaoke room. They get all these like women who come in there, and the two guys I'm with are kind of like having sex with the women in different areas of the karaoke room. I'm just sitting there, just kind of taking it all in, smoking this joint, being like,
Just casually, yeah.
yeah. Well, I was like, man, I don't know what's going on here. I'm just gonna sit here and just figure out where the hell I am, really.
Mm.
Um, then time goes on. I've smoked a few joints. I've had a few beers, and something just goes like this. Everyone stops. All the girls get up and leave. These people who brought the beer in, they come in, they grab all the beer and everything like that. They leave as well. They shut the door, and the dude who I was with just jumps on me. He's got this big knife, and he goes, "You owe me 4 million dong," which is like, I don't know, it's like $700. He's on top of me with his knife, and he's like, "You owe me 4 million dong." And I was like, "All right,
Oh
well,
wow.
yeah." So I was like, all right, well, me being me and, not selling drugs, I haven't got fucking $4 million cash on me right now.
Mm,
And I'm kind of like, all right, well, look, I don't have this money on me. What do you want me to do? And he was like, oh, man, you can call your parents for if you need some money. It was like, essentially we can send off like some ransom shit. And I was like, no, like, what you have to do is you have to drive me to an ATM. So they fucking make a call. We go downstairs. This big ass Escalated tinted windows pulls up.
mm,
Jump in the back of the car. These two dudes in suits sitting on either side of me.
mm.
Drive me out. It's like pouring rain at this point. It's fucking like,
Oh man.
knee deep fucking rain. They drive me out to this ATM in the middle of nowhere, which is like another hour away. At
Yeah.
this time, I'm kind of like transferring all the money out of my account so no one can see how much money I've got in my account. And they fucking pull up at this ATM, and I've got exactly 4 million dong in there. So I pull up at the ATM, these two dudes in suits like standing right behind me. And they got like sunglasses on at fucking 4 in the morning.
Wow.
Put everything in the ATM. I get the money out, and I go back to them. Another hour back there, hand him the money, and he's like, "All right, I'll give you a lift home." I was like, "Ah, brother, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'll get myself home." And
Yeah.
it was like, man, we are like an hour and a half away from civilization. Trust me, you're gonna need a lift home. It's fucking pouring rain. And I was like, fine, give me a
Yeah.
lift home then. Jump
Shit.
on the back of his bike. He drives me back home. We pull up to my hotel. He lets me out and he goes, "All right, 6:30 tomorrow morning. I need you out the front here." And I was like, "Oh, why do you need me out the front?" He's like, "You work for me now. So 6:30 in the morning, you come out the front." So I immediately just go inside, put my stuff down, book, book the next train out of there, jump on the train within like an hour, and I was like, "All right, I'm out of here."
Yeah. Wow. And then they haven't tried to like track you down or anything like
No,
that.
haven't seen him ever since. Never gone back to that spot of Vietnam. So hopefully, imagine if they're watching this live right now, being like, "Hey man, that guy owes me some money." Like,
Oh man, but that's crazy. Hang on. So what was going through your mind knowing that this was like what was going through your mind like in the process of all of that?
oh man, when it's all kind of like happening and you've got that feeling of like, oh yeah, I'd like to think I'm kind of street smart, but like, you've got that kind of feeling of like, oh yeah, something seems off,
Mm,
like every time, like the whole kind of the steps and how it like we ended up at the karaoke bar and everything like that. It all seemed a little bit too almost planned out. Like, and as it was happening, I was like, man, this is really coincidental, like,
mm,
wow, who would have thought this is happening? Oh my,
yeah.
what a great night for me, everything's kind of like happening far too easily. And even when they pulled the knife on me and they said, oh, you got to give us the money, and then they called the car and the car came in like 5 seconds. So I was like, all right, well, someone was clearly waiting for me, like they'd been planning this shit for a hot minute. So
Mm,
yeah, by that point I was starting to get a little bit on edge, I guess.
yeah.
But I mean, the whole time I've been drinking and smoking all day, so I was I was in the
Yeah.
best frame of mind to be like, oh. And also, man, you can't be freaking out in those kind of situations because then they're just gonna know you're scared and they're gonna take more from you, like
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
true.
be. I was just kind of like silent. I was in my head. I was also kind of like, man, just fucking have another joint if all of this is happening. Like, if I'm gonna be kidnapped and I'm gonna be fucking held to ransom for the next couple of days, you guys better
Yeah.
have enough fucking weed to get me through. I just gave you 4 million dong. Surely you can buy me like a couple grams to get me through the
Yeah.
next fucking couple of days.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. That's insane. But nah, bro, but hats off to you that, you handled the situation
Yeah,
very
thank you.
very like in the best way you can. Just as you said, I think you were either drunk or high to kind of let anything absorb in. But I think you know what that kind of saved you in a way because just as you said, like if you showed any amounts of fear, they probably would have sucked you dry. You know.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it
So
would have been a whole different thing if I was like with someone else or if it was like me and my girl or something like that. I would have
yeah,
probably had to act a bit differently in the situation. But because it was just me and I was so used to being by myself for so long as well, it was kind of like, oh, I can be calmer in this situation because, when they were telling me I can call my parents, I was a bit that kind
it
of
was like
sounded a bit.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that put a little bit of a shiver down my spine. There was a hot minute where I was going to be like, "Oh, hello, mum. Like, I've just been kidnapped in Vietnam. I just need a little bit of money." They're not actually asking for much money, but
mm,
like, Um, yeah, that was definitely like the point where I was like, oh shit. That whole that whole point where it's just like, at this point he realized he fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that was definitely I was like, oh fuck, they're not playing. Like why
Yeah.
can't they be playing? Can't someone jump out and be like, ah, I gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking hell, that's insane. But you know what? I reckon that sounds like a Netflix series, to be honest.
Yeah,
Sounds like a Netflix movie. It's like,
yeah.
and it's literally going to be called "Where is Leroy?" Because you don't even know where this man's going to be. He's going to be kidnapped. He's going to be somewhere else, you know. And
The whitest lotus.
the widest loads. Okay. Oh man. So then after that, did you go back to Queensland or did you come to Melbourne?
No, so like after that, I immediately booked a train. Right after that, I immediately booked the next train going literally anywhere, and I ended up in this place where I guess they hadn't seen Westerners or anything like that before because people were stopping in their cars and bloody running up to me and kind of shaking my hand and being like, "Hello," they'd never seen a Westerner before. Um, I ended up being there for that was towards the end of my journey, so I was pretty annoyed then because I was like, "Man, I'm running out of money anyway." So I was like, hell, that's like, that could have gone pretty far. Um, so when I finally made the decision, I was either like, I got to come back home, what felt like having my tail between my legs because when I left, I was like, I'm never coming back here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was either like going to come back home and I'd have to move in with, my parents for a while or my sister and find a job.
Mm.
Um, or I could just, risk it all and start in a new city. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just head straight to Melbourne. I got myself like a boarding room in King Street for 10 days or so, and then just had to figure everything else out from there.
Yeah. Wow. And so when you moved to Melbourne, when was that? When did you touch down to Melbourne?
November 2017.
Oh, nice. So then how are you well since then, how are you liking Melbourne in terms of like the music scene as well? Like how is it different from the Gold Coast?
The music scene's really good here because it's really like there's so many different scenes and like avenues. Like I don't know, the best way I describe it to like people who I guess from Queensland or from anywhere else who's not like in a big city in that kind of way. It's like when you go to high school and there is different cliques of every kind
Mm.
of person going around. There's the weird kids over here who like to fucking collect rocks and shit like that.
Yeah.
There is all that, but it's like a 10,000 fold. So, you'll have
Okay.
like a whole venue full of the weird kids who collect rocks. Like there'll be a big meetup. Even when I first got here and I was realizing that you can get on like Facebook and bloody meet up with, 20 people who want to go walk through the city and play Pokemon Go with you and shit like
Oh
that.
my
I
God,
was like,
yes.
man, that because Pokemon Go was still real big at that point in time, and I was like, man, this is sick. There's so many different people doing so much different shit all the time.
Oh man. And I remember freaking Pokemon Go, especially at its peak. Like and one of the beaches in Altona Beach, I don't know if you're familiar with Altona Beach, right?
A little bit, yeah.
And bro, I remember when Pokemon Go was at its peak, there was just everywhere just so much fucking people. As
Mm.
soon as someone says, "Oi, there's a fucking Dragonite on the fucking bridge," you just see fucking so many people just like it was ridiculous. Like it was crazy, but it was so good. You know what I mean? Like you got so many nerds together, just people that have grown up with Pokemon, and then because I'm obviously a big Pokemon fan myself, and it's just crazy. Like, there were people that kind of took it overboard, of course,
Yeah.
but then obviously by time obviously the hype kind of went down slowly, and I still play it. I still play it sometimes, but.
I've been meaning to re-download it actually, just because then I
Yeah,
can go for like then I can just go for walks, like because otherwise I'll be sitting there and I'll just be kind of like on Instagram or some shit while I'm walking. I'm not even paying attention to what's around me, which is what I want to do anyway. I don't want to pay attention to what's around me, so at least I can fucking have a little bit of a look at everything that's around me while I'm catching awesome Pokemon.
correct.
We were when we were playing it back home right before I went overseas, me and my best friend we head out one night, we're catching some Pokemon around this place called Rainbow Bay, and
Hmm.
we're walking around the bay. We we're like hear something, like behind us. Like, fuck, man, it's kind of sounds like footsteps. And it's like it's just us. It's like 11:30 at night on a Wednesday, so there's no one around. And we're kind of walking, and the more we walk, the more I can hear these footsteps. I'm like, what's going on? Like
Yeah.
this sounds like someone's following us, and we start to get a little bit scared. And we spin around, and like we can see this kind of like this thing in the bushes, kind of like heading down towards us. And we're like, ooh, what the fuck's that?
Oh
This
shit.
dude pops out, and he's like this gigantic, like 6'4" dude, covered in fucking tattoos. He's got, like face tattoos and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh shit, here we go. And
Mm.
fucking, he walks up to us and he's just like, boys, there's some Gengars out here. And then just carries on. We're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, he doesn't. I mean, I think freaking he doesn't have to be a ghost Pokemon and just creep out and just say it something like that.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah. Well,
So
it's such
okay,
a
just you
wild
don't have to
thing.
do that. Just don't do that. Let us know about the Gengars, but just
Yeah.
don't do that.
Well, it's such a wild thing because like that was something that at least at that point in time, that area, every single person was into it. You couldn't speak to it. It was like as dare I say as popular as like Instagram, but like
Oh man.
it wasn't a casual scroll. Like people were out doing things. There'd be people walking the dog, and they're on their phone. The dog's running off somewhere, and they're just like fuck throwing Pokemon balls at a Growlithe that's around or some shit.
Yeah,
And
I'd rather have a
people with their
Growlithe than a
wives.
dog, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, me too. I'm more of a cat man personally, but so
Okay. So who?
yeah.
All right. So tell me, in the Pokemon world, who are your six Pokemon team? Doesn't matter which
Oh,
generation.
my starters. Ooh, interesting. Um, Probably Venusaur if we're talking. If we don't have to, if we can go full evolution. So Venusaur for sure.
Hmm.
That's my boy. That's my favorite lettuce.
Okay.
Um,
Lettuce
Venusaur.
dinosaur.
Yep, absolutely. Venusaur. For alligator.
Yes.
Yep. Also one of my favorites of all time. Um, Arcanine, because like he's just, you know, he's one of those Pokemon where it's like, man, he's not like technically a legendary Pokemon, but fuck, he's as close as you could get. Like
Yeah. Absolutely.
he's
Absolutely.
he's pretty perfect.
Hmm.
Yeah, so Arcanine, um, bloody, I'd probably go Ho-Oh for the flying.
Yes.
Because that was in gold. That was probably my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So Ho-Oh. Ooh, two left. That's a bit of a hard one. Um, I really want to say like Graveler, just because of the way he looks. Like, and
Yeah.
I was always personally like more into like the rock Pokemon and that kind of stuff. I really related to Brock a lot. Just fallen madly in love with every girl that's around. Um, um, yeah. So either so Graveler, um, and then probably fucking like Steelix. Steelix goes real hard. He's pretty hard to
Oh,
beat.
bro. That's man. Steelix. It's just when I saw the design of Steelix, I'm just like, fuck this. This can't. You don't want to fucking mess with this guy, bro. Fuck.
Yeah,
He'll
especially
kill
when
us
you look at
all.
like Onyx and that, you're kind of like, man, how the fuck does anyone beat this? This thing is a snake made of fucking gigantic rocks.
Folders. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now you're gonna make that covered in steel and angrier with teeth. Like,
Oh no. Jesus. No, but that's mad, bro. And that would
mm.
be uh so you would use that for like the Pokemon League and stuff? Those
Oh,
six?
absolutely. Oh, bro, I'd fucking dominate that league with those Pokemon. I don't even know. The bond that me and that Pokemon will have. Absolutely. If they're not even hanging in Pokeballs, they're just free range Pokemon out
Yeah.
there setting. Yep. Grout, fucking Arcanine's gonna be out there, fucking, setting fire to this shit.
Well, the shit
They're
will be on fire since it's
Yeah, yeah,
fire
yeah.
time.
I'm sure he does some fucking like on some fucking illuminated shits right there. Ho-Oh's gonna be out there fucking perching up on your power lines and shit like that, just fucking being a menace. Because all my Pokemon would have to be absolute menaces in real life. Like
Oh
there'd be
man,
there'd be some there'd be some free range bitches. They'd be going all over the place. And then they'd
would
just be
you?
coming back home at night.
Did you end up get? Did you go into Yu-Gi-Oh at all either as well?
Yeah, bro, I did love Yu-Gi-Oh. I was more into the just like the collection of the cards than the
Yeah.
playing the game. I've got some homies who play the games on Wednesday. Like they go down to someplace in Mooney Ponds and they're playing every Wednesday. Um, but I was never too good at the game. I was much more into the cards, but I was really into the fucking show. Like and
Oh
all
man,
of the all of the toon Pokemon were probably my favorite. I really need to get like one of my plans is to get like a one of the toon Pokemon tattooed on me as well. He's up on my list.
the two Pokemon or the two Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Toon Yu-Gi-Oh, sorry, Toon
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh, sorry. I just woke up, so I'm fucking.
that's all right. Are you talking about like a Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon or
Yep,
Toon Summon Skull?
yep, 100%.
Okay.
All of Joey's cards.
Oh, the Joey's cards, yeah. Even
Yep.
Red Eyes as well. Yeah, that'd be
Mm,
fucking sick. Because I've always loved Yu-Gi-Oh myself, and
mm,
because I've always appreciated when because me being Egyptian myself, right? I've
mm.
always appreciated when either shows or TV would mention Egypt in some way, shape, or form, and they would use their content with Egypt in some way, and I've always
Yep.
appreciated that, and it was always drawn to me as well. So I was just like, "Fuck, this thing is fucking sick," and I just loved just the creativity of it. To be honest with
Mm,
you, and like do you and even fun fact, I don't know if you remember, you know the character Marek when he was a villain before he became,
yeah.
well, because he's got the tattoo on his back, right?
Yep.
I actually, because I remember I was thinking of an idea for my tattoo because I've got a tattoo on my back, right?
Mm,
I've got a back piece, and I'm thinking to myself, I need some sort of inspiration here. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I need, da da da. And then Yu-Gi-Oh was on TV, was like one of the reruns, and it showed Marek showing his back tattoo about like the ancient Egypt and stuff like that, and trying to put the pieces together for the pharaoh. And that's when I got the epiphany. I'm like, yes, there it is. Because everyone was getting sleeves at the time. Everyone was
mm.
starting to do legs, and I'm like, nah, I don't like. I want to do something different. So I ended up finding that on the back, and it came from Marek. So
Shout out to
there's the
Marek.
inspiration right there. It's fucking sick.
Yeah. Shout out
So
to Marek, bro.
shout
He
out to my guy Marek.
he yeah, he's obviously big part in your life. You got a lot to thank him for.
Well, hey, I ever said if I have a son, I'm gonna call him Marek. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn.
I'm calling my son Marek.
This
Marik.
this guy really loves his Marek.
You have no idea. Oh man. Oh, so hang on. So because I know we got off topic with the music. So tell me more about your music because I've got your Spotify up right now.
Mm.
So there's Fuck 'em All, there's Bad Luck, there's Philibars, there's Coming with the Flames, there's
Yep.
Pyrex. Uh, um, oh yeah. Okay. So you've got like 10 songs on here.
Mm.
Oh wow, your highest streaming was Coming with the Flame 6,876. Oh no, hang on.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Check
Slow
one
down
was
there.
8,879.
Hey, that's cool.
So, there you go. Tell me actually yeah, tell me about check one.
Um, oh, about check one. I mean, check one was it's got a beat flip inside it, so we start off kind of slow and almost like a lounge beat kind of thing. We move our way into something a little harder.
Yeah.
That was my one of my favorite walk and talks that I ever filmed. Me and Stavros filmed it together.
Mm-hmm.
And the day we filmed it, I'd been out for the entire night. I think I got home at like fucking 8 in the morning, and I had to meet Stavros at 4 in the Arvo, and I spent like the entire day up until about 3:30 in the arvo, just kind of sitting there with my head in the toilet. And the amount of times that I was like, nah, I can't do this.
Mm.
And then at the last second, I managed to pull it together and like, man, working with Stavros is so good because he just pumps you up so much to film. Like it's always like every time I've filmed with him, it's always just been a bloody, like an absolute just a sick hang to film. So he's always pumping you up and he's always bringing the vibe. So that kind of brought me back to life to film and run that. With doing that walk and talk one take, we're doing the whole thing in one take. So every single time anything happens, we're like, all right, let's run it back, and I'm just kind of running back to the starting point. So fucking shout out Stavros.
Yeah, no, he does an amazing work, Stavros. He's very creative with his craft. Like, especially, I love how he's connected with people all over the world to do like music videos and stuff like that. And yeah, you can tell that he's got that passion with making music videos and really just loves to help people hype each other up to get, get put people keep them on their toes, and that way, that's what we get that's how we can get the great shot, the great like the whatever it is, the moment of the capture of the video, what he's looking for, we can get that. Like he's very sure of himself, and I love that. Love
Yeah,
that.
there's only a few people who bloody like, you can tell that they live and breathe hip hop and they can incorporate hip hop into just about anything they do. And Stavros is one of those guys where it's just like, man, you can tell that he just lives and breathes hip hop.
Mm.
And that's exactly what, you want in someone that you're working with if you work in the hip hop space is someone who lives and breathes hip hop. You want anyone that you're working with, you want them to essentially live and breathe the craft more than you do. Because it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well then I trust this person.
Yeah, exactly. Not just that, you can even learn from this person as well. Like, who knows what you can learn and to really advance your knowledge as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Man, it's insane. So, so where do you see so why do you do music?
Um, why do I do music? It's just something that keeps me happy. It makes me feel like I got a purpose in this world. I feel like a lot of times, especially in like careers and things like that, I jump from job to job a lot. I move around a lot. I don't feel too stable with a lot of things that I do.
Mm.
Music's one of those things. It's just like it's always there for me regardless, and it's one of those things where it's a lot like any kind of like, I guess, freestyle sport in a way, where it's like there's no particular wrong way to do something. You can do music and you can have, a bunch of shit that doesn't rhyme. You can have a bunch of shit that's offbeat, and there's no wrong way to do it. Some people might like it, some people might not, and that's the whole thing I tell people that I'm working, or I mean, sorry, not that I'm working with, or maybe that I'm working with people that I'm like, sharing the music space with, especially if they get beat up or anything for their songs not popping off or anything like that. It's like music is this entirely subjective thing. And it's like the same way that like if I don't like certain music, that doesn't mean it's bad. It
Mm.
just means it's not my taste. The same way people don't have to like my music. It's not their taste, and that doesn't make me feel like I've done anything wrong. It's not an exact science because, people can like it and they'll like it. People don't have to like it. It's entirely subjective. There's no right or wrong about it in any way, shape, or form. And
Mm.
that's what kind of like keeps me coming back to it, especially with like, life gets hectic and I've got very little time to actually get into it. Even when you do have time to actually sit down and write something or jump into the studio, like I'll be heading into the studio after this. I haven't been to the studio in like a month. So,
Mm.
that's one of those things that kind of like keeps me amped and kind of keeps me like realizing, oh yeah, man, that's why I'm here. And, with music, it's one of those things where obviously anyone in the music space is trying to make it, but it's something that you obviously at the end of the day, you're doing because you love it.
Mm.
So, you know, as much as you want to make it, your original reason for doing it is because it's fun, because, you like doing it, makes you feel something.
Mm.
So I think that's why I do music at least. Anyone who says they're purely doing music to make it, I don't think they really like music that much.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. And going back to what you were saying is when if people don't like your music, doesn't make you a bad person. I 100% agree with that because with me. Music. I'm very picky when it comes to music, right? And it's weird sometimes because if it hits my ear like that, it hits my ear like that. You know,
Mm.
if I like it, I like it. If I'm drawn to it, I'm drawn to it. If it doesn't draw me in, then it just you can't convince me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I speak to people all the time, like other rap artists and things like that, and like I think we've definitely got this problem in hip hop where people will tell you they like your shit if they don't. Like, I would prefer
Mm,
if someone told me that they didn't like my shit, that like they're like, oh, look, man, I heard your song, fuck 'em all, and look, to be honest, I'm just not really down on the whole rock rap thing. It didn't really appeal to me,
mm,
thought it was a bit, sloppy in that case. So I'd be like, man, I'm not like offended by that
mm.
because, it's entirely subjective. You don't have to like my kind of shit. I don't understand why people, like, if I'm trying to be honest with people and I'm like, ah, man, look, to be honest, that song didn't hit for me. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah,
They all get all offended, like, what? How dare you tell me exactly what you think of my
yeah.
song?
Mm,
I'm like, bro, I'm not saying that you suck. Like, I'm
mm.
not saying, I'm not saying that, you're not good at what you do. I'm just saying that particular song didn't resonate with me. And that's what you want your songs to do, is to resonate with people. It probably resonates to a lot of people. That's your audience.
That's right.
You know, that particular song didn't resonate with me. I don't hate you. Like,
Mm.
that song just didn't resonate with me.
Yeah,
Do
and
you want me
I
to lie?
Yeah, well, that's right. And even with the because my favorite rapper is E40, right?
Mm,
And there are some songs of his that doesn't resonate to me, or I may not understand it because obviously he's talking about something that I can't relate to because obviously
mm,
him being in America, me being in Australia, and some of the references will just go over my head. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
and but obviously but are in most cases that there are things that I really enjoy from E40, but I that doesn't make me I hate the artist or I've you know I mean again like how do I not know that just because I don't like it maybe you like it,
Yeah.
maybe it resonates with you in some way shape or form. Like I hate when people think that if I'm a fan I'm supposed to like absolutely everything. You know what I
No,
mean?
absolutely not.
Yeah, it
And
makes
that's
no
like that's
sense.
the whole kind of thing. Like, when I hear someone's music, and if I hear someone's music, especially with someone who's like starting out or something like that, and they're they'll send me their song and they're like, oh man, what did you think of this? And I'm I'm just gonna be like, oh look, man, it didn't really hit. To be honest with me, that's great, man. If their first song doesn't hit with me, I'm like, all right, and I tell you it doesn't hit with me, I'm excited to see what you're gonna do next,
Mm.
because like, now you know that your stuff isn't going to hit with everyone. I felt that's this big problem where everyone, you show someone a song and they'll be like, yeah, it's sick, man. And it's kind of when they're walking off being like, ugh, that's not really,
Yeah.
that's not what I wanted to hear. Like, there shouldn't be any shame in telling people what you think of their music. Like, you don't
Mm.
need to be straight up fucking mean to them. Like, you don't need to
Mm.
be like, fuck, this is trash, you suck, your mother's fat, all this kind of shit. Like, you know,
Okay.
fucking, you don't need to be like that. But if you want to give your honest opinion of music, like, it shouldn't be any reference on the person or their skill set or anything like that. It's just, this is what I like. I didn't like it because of this.
Mm.
Keep going. Show me what you do next. I'm always, every time I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, send me your song. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't like it, I'll tell you. I'm not going to be fucking, I'll try my best not to be rude about it. But yeah, I can't help what I don't like. And, if it's some shit that I like, I'll be sharing it. That's how you know that fucking,
Mm.
I like your shit. I'm sharing, I'm telling people because I fucking like it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a science.
No, it's not. And it's and even for me, like, because I'm not really a big fan of boom bap and I'm not really a big fan
Mm,
of drill, right?
hmm
But and because obviously there's a lot of the boom bap thing happening obviously in the scene and stuff like that. Like for
mm,
me, I'm still gonna share everyone's stuff as much as I can, because I know they put so much effort into the song, as well as I appreciate them bringing the art to the world. That's what I
mm,
appreciate, right? And I don't have to necessarily I don't have to necessarily like the song, but I can see it as motivation that this person is working hard to get their creativity into the world and really and inspiring people. And to if you're the type of person who likes to inspire people, through your
Mm.
music or whatever parts of creativity, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'm happy to support you. I'll share your shit. I'll like your shit. I'll flood your comments. I'll flood your likes. I don't give a shit. I'll
Mm.
do that. Right? I'm
Yeah.
that guy that does that. Right? And again, I don't have to like it, but I can show you that I appreciate your creativity.
Yeah, the artistry is definitely there. And I think that's one thing that people, as I was saying, they kind of like forget. It's like, man, just because something doesn't resonate with me, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't mean it's bad. I see the artwork that you've put into this, I see the time that you've put into this. Maybe, I don't know, growing up in bloody, I don't know, some country that I've never been to or something like that isn't something I've experienced before, I
Mm,
haven't experienced being homeless. I can't resonate to that too much. Maybe I can't resonate to the sound that you're kind of putting across,
mm,
in that kind of way, shape, or form. I'm not used to, jumping people at train stations, but
yeah,
that's that doesn't necessarily mean any shade on it at all. It's just something that I
yeah.
don't resonate with. But the people who it does resonate with, and with music, if it resonates with you, you can't hide it. Like, if something resonates with you, it hits you and you can feel it. And that's the beautiful thing about music is everyone in some way, shape, or form is going to feel it. Like,
Mm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that, bro. It's absolutely crazy, man. So what's happening next? So what's next for Where is Leroy? I know you said you're gonna
um,
go in the studio soon. So what's cooking?
we got the studio going in after this. I'll probably have another like 3 or 4 coffees to wake up. So I only had a couple hours sleep. Um, we get into some serious rehearsals. We've got the Northside Champions show on the 30th of this month. Everyone make sure you're coming down.
Hmm.
That's gonna be really sick. There's a bunch of really sick artists that I like. When we were saying artists that that you resonate with and everything like that. There's a bunch of artists on there that I really like and I really resonate. I really like every single artist's stage performance as well. So it's going to be
Hmm.
really, really great stage performance. There's going to be giveaways, prizes. If you've ever seen a Whereisleroy set before, you know that we're cracking Pokemon cards on stage.
Love it.
Something that I know that you can attest to from being at a Whereisleroy show before. So
Uh-huh.
make sure you do come along to that show. Make sure you bring a pack of Pokemon cards. Because what I'm trying to bring more so when I'm cracking the packs, I really want to see people in the audience cracking packs as well. I think it would be really good if we can all crack some packs together, and then at the end we can just all get together and just bloody trade them all up, see what you've got.
Fuck
I
yeah.
want to got to start like a little Discord group so everyone's getting the same kind of series of packs, so that we
But that
all
would
got
be a
something to
mad
trade together.
idea. That would be a mad
Yeah.
idea. It could be called Leroy's Pokemon group, and then just
Mm.
Pokemon cards, and then everyone say if they get the Pokemon pack, they put it on the Discord, and then they do a video of them opening it and then seeing what they've got. I
Yeah,
reckon that'll be a mad idea.
exactly. Well, I'm gonna grab a few extra packs. I always like to have a few. We usually, me and Jay Alexa will usually crack a pack before we go on stage, just kind of hype us up for getting on stage.
Yeah.
Um, it was really annoying. We opened for Swifty McVeigh and Mac Lethal a
Oh
year or
wow.
so ago,
Okay.
and we usually got this thing where we'll pull the cards on stage if we, crack a really good full art or something like that, we'll keep it, throw everything else away, throw it into the audience. And we were pulling the packs on stage, and it was either me or Jay, I can't remember. It was one of us. Pulled a sort of Scarlet Violet pack, pulled a full art um Charizard.
No.
So
Wow.
it was definitely like the peak of absolutely like pulling packs. No, it was me actually. It was me. I pulled it. Not giving him the credit for that. So I pulled the full art Charizard, and I was just so hyped on the night and on everything, and pulling the card just really like cemented all that. I've thrown the whole thing, all the cards into the audience. Everyone's kind of like running up and grabbing them and everything like that. At the end of the set, we're sitting there at the bar, and this lady, and she must have been like, I don't know, like 60 or something like that. Like she was a grandmother.
Mm.
And she came up to me and she said, "Oh, hey, I grabbed one of your cards that you pulled." I was like, "Oh yeah." And she was like, "Oh, can you sign it for me? I want to give it to my grandson."
Hey,
She was like, "I'm getting everyone who played tonight to sign the card." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And
fuck yeah.
she had the full art Charizard, and it's been signed by everyone. And I was like, she was like, "My grandson really loves Pokemon, so this is me a lot." And I was like, he's gonna hate you for this because you've given him this full art Charizard. All these people have signed it from this show he wasn't at. So I was like, oh no,
Oh no.
poor
But why
poor guy. But
Charizard and everybody else? Don't ruin it. You have to keep that. You have to keep
yeah,
that Charizard.
I know. We've got to be sleeving these things up. I got to start bringing extra sleeves to the shows and everything like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be bringing a fair few packs when I'm rolling through to the Northside Champions show. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're at the Northside Champions show, make sure you come up to me and ask me nicely. We'll give you a pack.
Fuck yeah.
We'll all crack it together on stage. That would be my plan, would have everyone crack it together on stage. If not, if you're afraid of being on stage, if you don't like the lights on you when you're cracking packs and it affects your luck, you can crack it after the show, and then we'll all come together and we'll have a few trades over some beers, because that's another thing with, with Pokemon. It's just honestly such a universal thing. There's people aren't who have no idea who the Pokemon are, who just love cracking packs.
Yeah.
There's people who crack them only for like their only certain favorite Pokemon. And,
Yes.
you've always meet those
Yes.
people. I remember I went on this Tinder date a few years ago, and this girl
Mm.
was really into Porygon.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, very, very niche Pokemon to be in. Our whole room was full of Porygon shit. And I was like, what's going on here?
So it's like a full Porygon fanatic.
Full Porygon fanatic in her mid 20s. Yeah.
Jesus. I mean, that's good, but like, I mean, you'd want other Pokemon as well. So I
Yeah,
don't
right.
know.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But yeah, so we like, and even with Pokemon, especially with cracking the packs, it's essentially gambling.
Yeah,
It's
well, that's right.
that's why a
Yeah,
lot of people look at it. I'm like, man, this is just gambling. We're just getting bits of cardboard instead of money. Like, whoever's
yeah,
got the shiniest cardboard wins.
correct. Yeah, that's right. I mean, but I feel like nowadays there's always one random shiny about something, whether it's uh, a full evolved or a trainer card. There's always a
Yeah,
shiny, and I've noticed that. I could be
I mean,
wrong, but yeah,
they know what they're doing now. They know what we're in here for. So, they've definitely upped their game a lot. Whereas, I feel like back in the day when you were pulling those first generation
yeah,
Pokemon cards, or even the Pokemon jungles and everything like that,
yes.
you'd go through like 5 or 6 packs before you pulled anything of any worthwhile at all, and you'd be like, "Fuck, Mum just wasted $40."
Oh Lord, fucking hell. But we'll wrap it up here, Leroy. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about, or anything you wanted to add before we go, bro?
Yeah, Northside Champions Show, 30th of August. Make sure you get your tickets. There's going to be prizes, giveaways. We're giving a percentage away as well to mental health. Yeah, it's going to be a really, really sick night. Heaps of really, really great artists on the bill. If you don't know Northside Champions, they're doing a lot for the hip hop scene. Really, really dope, amazing brand. So that should be coming out. New song Sad coming out real soon. We're just waiting to get the final touches back from that. So that's going to be the next song coming out real soon. Decided to go In My Feelings for this one.
Okay.
So I hope you like a bit of honesty and a bit of rawness.
Hmm.
And that should be the majority of it, I'd say. Make sure you go to therapy.
Okay. All right. Done deal, man. And I do want to say one last thing before we go. And I do say this to all my guests and all my creatives that how do I define a successful person? A successful person is where you are doing what you love doing, you're pushing at it, you're going hard at it, you're getting results, whether if it's minor or major, and you're not giving up. That's a successful person. So you are a successful person, Leroy.
Oh, thank you so much. I needed to hear that today. It was a
I
bit
got
of a
you, bro.
sleepy.
I got you,
Thank you,
man.
bro. Thank you. We're cracking 30th of August. Make sure you come down. Bring yourself a pack. If not, I got a pack for you. And we're definitely gonna link up. We're gonna crack a pack, and we'll
Fuck
go
yeah.
from there. Fights might
Done.
ensue based on the on the packs pulling.
No, I love it, man. But this will be on YouTube and Spotify. as well. So probably in the next week or so. And yeah, bro, you enjoy the rest of the day. Go into that studio, bro. Go hard, bro. And we'll definitely speak soon. All right.
Easy done, my man. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
No worries, bro. I want to say thank you for the people that have joined in. Again, it will be on Spotify and YouTube in the next week or so. So keep an eye out. Make sure you do go to the Northside Champions in Shop Kickers in the August 30. There's going to be amazing. It's like to me, it's an all-star cast, but I want you to go there and experience it for yourself. So yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up. Leroy, we'll speak soon,
Easy
brother.
done, brother. Take care. Take care.
Take care. See you guys.